where Mahomes, he's going to fake it. They have the option to run the jet sweep, and as soon as they see Denver go in motion, now they have the number.
From the 5. Pacheco to the 3, pushing forward to the end zone. Did he get there? Touchdown.
Joe Tooney up inside. Tooney, he's able to secure that backside gap. And then Humphrey, he just climbs right away. And Pacheco, tough, hard-nosed.
Wilson on the move and throws and completes it. Incomplete.
I know Chiefs fans know what kind of quarterback he is.
Mahomes on the move, throws, completes it on the sideline. That's Kadarius Toney. Toney still on his feet, inside the 25. And finally brought down. Wrong foot throw by Mahomes and right on target now. Looking around. Still on the move. And a little shovel pass. Travis Kelce. Kelce to the 10. On 2nd and 7, Wilson. Under pressure and going down. Carlos Dunlap, George Karlaftis in on the quarterback. Pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. Mahomes down the sideline. Hit his man right on the nose. Kadarius Toney.
Something that's outside of your comfort system that really takes away your ability to make plays.
This is Mahomes throwing. Finds his man in the middle of the field. This is McKinnon. McKinnon breaking free inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Wilson under pressure. He got hit from behind. The ball is loose. Kansas City has it on the near side.
Well-timed, well-designed blitz from Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, and it does appear like McDuffie was able to get that ball out before Russell Wilson's arm was coming forward. They have got to generate more takeaways, something they were exceptional at last season.
Mahomes with 11 seconds to work with, far side of the field, and the diving attempt is made, and they say he caught it. Justin Watson.
More production from that running game.
Wilson, the short pass, that's not going anywhere. Catch was made by Eric Saubert, but he had nowhere to go thanks to Juan Thornhill. Judy looking uncertain. They'll give it to Murray. Murray going nowhere. Buried as soon as he touched the football. Carlos Dunlap.
Really, outside of there, they've only targeted him 2 times so far in this game.
That's his first catch, and now Mahomes with time and throws their side of the field. The catch is made by Valdez-Scantling. That'll be another Chiefs first down. Mahomes to throw. Over the middle. Got his man. To the end zone. Did he get there? No. Yes. Now it is called a touchdown. So part of him reached the goal line and part of him didn't.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the way Denver has been able to rebound here.
Wilson.
In 3 quarters.
Wilson throwing it. It's intercepted. Picked off around the 42-yard line by Jarius Sneed. And he's still on his feet. Still on his feet. Getting up blockers to the 15 and down at about the 17-yard line. This is a 2nd and 7. Here comes a blitz and he goes down. Big number 99, Colin Saunders.
Bringing pressure one more time and not let Russell Wilson sit in the pocket.
Wilson under pressure. Wrapped up. Tried to throw the ball forward. And it is picked off. No, he's going to be ruled down.
Oh.
You got one job.
There we go. Hey, I guess we're here. Welcome back to the Red Hour for 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It is the new year, 2023. It is, and we're here on another Victory Monday. Even though it might seem a little subpar to some, a dub is a dub. We got it, and we're continuing. Oh, there they are. We're continuing on with the season with one last game to play. Yesterday in our group text, I sent out a text that was actually put out by one of the local networks that said the Chiefs do just enough. And they absolutely did, beating the Denver Broncos 27-24. Welcome in to the Red Hour here live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. Introducing you to the crew, cuz Captain Radio himself, Darren Smith. What's up?
Man, all I know is at the end of the day, all I could think about was you and your State Farm Super Bowl that could possibly be a reality after 3-4 years.
At the State Farm,
it could finally happen.
Whatever they call it. Is it arena,
State
stadium?
Stadium. Yep.
Yeah, so statistically, there's still a shot.
There's still a chance.
But the way these two are playing, don't go to your sports betting app with that one. To my right, Captain Wall Street himself, nephew, Steve Walls. What's up?
I'm good. Happy to be here. New year, new me.
I can hear all the energy in your voice. It's
Oh man, might get that number one seed. He's
so
so good.
good.
Excited.
No, I'm not.
And
No.
even though his boy isn't playing, and even though his team has the exact same record as the Kansas City Chiefs right now, and even though his boy is probably not going to be MVP, he still somehow seemed to moisturize and part his hair properly. Ladies and gentlemen, the infamous DJ Q.
I mean, isn't it crazy that an injury could take somebody out of MVP
See,
contention?
see, now he wants to bring.
We got changing the narrative.
Folks send me messages like, "Why y'all be picking on Q all the time?" And I'm just like, Q sometimes I was just gonna let him, shoot his own self in the foot, and he did just that. So now we can bring up the message thread yesterday.
And we'll jump into that a little bit later as we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, who have one last game for the season in Las Vegas against the Vegas Raiders. And we all know it's been flexed now to Saturday afternoon, the early game. So we'll talk about our feelings about that as you guys have to head out there. And now you have to rearrange all your plans. And
I mean,
No, not me.
I make plans.
well, but he doesn't get to go sit in the sports book all afternoon and then,
Right.
go to the stadium.
I get to do it on Sunday though.
See, there's that.
There's that.
But first of all, we have to talk about this game at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, the last home game for the season for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now 13-7, 7-1 at home this season.
13-3.
13-3, I'm sorry, 7-1 at home this season. These last few games, and I've said it before, and I can't totally blame Patrick for all of this. But man, this doing just enough is not going to be enough to get us through the postseason.
Not at all.
At all.
And because I don't see them playing to the level of whatever opponent we get to play just enough to beat them, and that's not going to go down. Defense is showing up. We can talk about our punting and kicking situation, which has become downright abysmal here in the last few weeks. And my thing is, if your foot is still damaged, then don't let him kick. And again, he can kick 52, 55 yards, but for some reason he cannot kick a damn extra point.
And I don't think it has anything to do with his foot. I think it's all mental now for both of them.
So you think mentally I'm prepared to kick 55 yards, but I can't kick 26.
Right. Exactly what it is. It's all mental. I don't think it has
Have you
anything
been
to
in
do
my
with it.
heroin?
Maybe.
Something's wrong. How can you possibly kick further?
He's not even able to do that. He can't kick anything right now.
And our holder,
Absolutely nothing.
I mean,
I brought it up 4 months ago. Everybody thought I was crazy. But,
I mean, Colquitt put it out there. He said he was out there pulling a pet detective on us.
I mean,
But
Einhorn.
as much as folks want to get on Harrison Butker, right? And I know you're only as good as your last game. He did help the team 13 seconds last year. Y'all remember that? Remember that game?
oh, so now you got to bring up the old.
Did you remember that game though? I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like Harrison Butker has helped this team a lot.
Okay, that's fine. But
So-
here's
so-
where it's not helping. Because if the Chiefs continue to play up to the level of the opponents, and we don't have that one extra point that we need to make it a win, then it's the blame is on that foot.
People got mad at me when I said months ago that they got to have the conversation in the offseason about what to do with Butker. Oh, why you want to cut Butker? Who are you going to get to replace him? I don't know, somebody cheaper. But the thing is, when you leave that many points on the board, it can come back to haunt you. I mean,
but you have somebody capable to kick extra points on the team.
Who?
You let him do it one time.
Nah, man, that's not what he doesn't get paid to do that. That's not what he signed up for.
He gets paid to play football.
No, he gets paid to play safety in the NFL.
You get paid to play wherever I put you.
Okay,
obviously, because they let him. They let him kick one time. So don't say he doesn't get paid to do that, because if he was allowed to do that, and he wanted to,
he volunteered. I ain't volunteering to go out there and kick field goals. Like, I'm not doing it. Yeah, I did it for you once. We got out of the little bind we were in, but I'm not going out there each and every week kicking field goals.
So are you about this team or not?
Yeah, I'm about the team, about my position.
I mean, he did pick Denver now. Let's he did. Shout out to
you. Still ride donkey ride?
Nah, man. It is what it is.
Or it was what it was. Russell Wilson, and the whole time I'm looking at this game, I'm thinking to myself, only the Kansas City Chiefs will allow Russell Wilson to look like Russell Wilson.
3 touchdowns.
All season long, Russell Wilson has looked like Shanice Wilson out there.
I mean, y'all told me he was done.
I think after watching,
I've said this for a month.
After watching Russ yesterday, and he was getting ready to get sacked not only once but twice. He throws the ball up. I haven't seen take the sack, man. Like, I just don't understand it. I think he's done. He's washed. It's not the coach. It wasn't the coach. It wasn't front office. That's all Russ.
Yesterday, they scored 24 points. Is that the most points they've scored all season?
No, they scored 28 against the Chiefs.
All right, because I do remember one of the commentators saying yesterday that when Russell Wilson threw that 20-yard pass, it was the longest ball he's thrown all season.
Yeah. Sadly.
How'd that happen?
Oh, is that really
he came in here and the Chiefs allowed him to look like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He has been Sierra's husband all season. All season long, he's been Sierra's husband.
I mean, they won 4 games.
I'm not talking to you right now. We'll get to you in a minute. He won 4 games. But nonetheless, we did get the W. And right now, as it stands before the game starts for Monday Night Football, we are the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yep.
So we'll take that. And we go to see the Raiders, which is going to be a tough game. We're going to the desert, and we know how they play us. And again, the last 5 weeks, the Kansas City Chiefs have been playing up to the level or allowing their level. I don't know who's playing what at this point.
He's playing down.
They give just enough right now, and they have been for the last 5 weeks. So we're trying to figure this out. Let's talk about giving up on the run. What is it in Andy's spirit that just says, stop running the ball?
His spirit. I mean, look, we had this conversation all the time to where the clock should be your friend, and especially when I thought that yesterday that they wanted to make sure that Patrick got his yardage to get 5,000 yards. They were going to do. I told Steve as soon as they ran that touchdown pass to Pacheco ran the touchdown, I said, they're not throwing the ball. I mean, they're not running the ball to the end zone no more. Patrick is going to get his stats. Andy's going to make sure of that. Next thing you know, 3 touchdown passes and 300 some odd yards for Patrick. So I think Andy will do whatever he can to make sure that Patrick, at least these last few games, does what is needed to get the MVP. Running the football, be damned.
So you don't think that the Chiefs are out there playing football right now? The Chiefs are out there just for statistical purposes?
No, they're playing football, but you asked me about them running the football.
Okay, but you went beyond that.
Yeah, I stand by that because, again, I mean.
I'm just saying, don't say I asked the question and you went beyond that, and you just said that now.
You asked me why they start running the football. I say because he wants to get Patrick those stats.
Okay, and now
the stats was going to come either way. But we talk about it. What, since Patrick has been here, this isn't a run the football first team. They're just not, and I'm not sure why people are still surprised that Isaiah Pacheco isn't getting his touches.
And this is the thing about it. I'm not asking for the Chiefs to be a running team. We know they are not that. But when something is working and your passing is not, as in yesterday, there were a lot of drop balls, there were a lot of overthrown balls, there were a lot of underthrown balls. But the run was doing a little damage.
Yeah.
You turn right away from that.
That's his MO since he was in Philly. I don't think it changes because he came here, and I don't think it changes from player to player. I think he has a philosophy of passing the ball.
And
but again,
you're not paying
on.
Patrick Mahomes $500 million to hand the ball off each and every
But
time.
I am paying Patrick Mahomes $500 million to win football games.
But keep in mind.
And we all know that you can't win football games one-dimensionally. There are a lot of different aspects that go into winning a football game.
Yeah,
and if you have to hand it off, then damn it.
Well, let's keep in mind, 2 weeks ago in Houston, they ran the ball for almost 200 yards. So it's also, but again, I just feel like as the season gets to a close, they felt like they were going to beat Denver no matter what. But once they ran the football into the end zone, I just felt that they were going to try to switch it and to make sure Patrick got his stats. Now, that's not to say that they're not going to run the football next week. I'm just saying, but for the 40-some yards they ran for yesterday, they wanted to make sure, because look, you do it at home. You saw they already had the graphic ready for Patrick throwing for 5,000 yards. He had to get an X amount of yards to be able to get that.
So you think because they put the
That's
work into making the graphics that we're going to get?
He was going to get that regardless.
Yeah, that's preparation. Even if he didn't get it yesterday, he was going to get it eventually.
Oh, okay, but do you think the Raiders are going to have that graphic up for Patrick next week?
No, and if they didn't, they didn't.
Okay.
That's a graphic they're going to have up there either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the networks will definitely, because the
So
commentators
you really think that he's like, all right, we're going to make sure you get these 5,000 passing yards?
I think that they would do whatever it takes to make sure he gets the MVP.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Hold on, I didn't say.
Hey, who's behind the bar? I'm going to need a drink for this show. I feel it.
I didn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that's his MO.
But when I just asked you if you thought the team was just doing stuff for statistical purposes, you told me no.
No, I told you yes. You asked me why did I feel that they stopped running the ball?
And then you went on. That's what I'm saying. You turned down the left alley on the right side of the street, and then you went to the whole.
Whatever
they
the
made
case may be,
graphics.
they wanted to make sure that Patrick got his yardage, got his air yardage.
I just wanted to make sure Patrick wins games, right?
Come interceptions, come whatever. They still going.
Look,
bro.
I mean,
all right,
they were still throwing the football after he threw 3 interceptions in Denver, didn't they?
They was already putting a whooping on him.
So why wouldn't you run the ball in?
They didn't need to.
Okay. And they almost lost the game too.
They almost lost a lot of games. While you were talking about them running 200 yards in Houston, the worst team in the freaking league, they almost lost that game too.
Like, I don't even know why we keep bringing up that game like it was a miraculous win.
Listen, as I was hosting that watch party in Houston, I kept thinking to myself, this game is about 12 hours long. And then when it went overtime, I pulled what little hair I had out. You see, I had a patch of my mustache, Mitch. It's gone. I'm like,
I thought you were shaving it.
Like, what are we doing here? Patrick Mahomes was 29 for 42 yesterday, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Russell Wilson threw for 222 yards. That's probably the most yards he's had all season. I'm willing to bet that. I don't know what it is, but Patrick says that there's some stuff that he needs to work on, and he needs to make better the stuff that he's not doing. And
he threw for 2. He threw for.
You looking up Russell Wilson's stats?
Yeah, I was, but.
So by the stuttering, I'm guessing 222 yards is the most he's thrown for all season. Again, he's been Sierra's husband all season long.
The previous game against the Chiefs, he threw for 247.
Yeah.
It was a Chiefs game, though, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
The team y'all think is going to the Super Bowl.
Don't you think your team going to the Super Bowl?
Hold up. 3 weeks ago, what did I say?
No, I mean, I predicted that they do, but I said I think this young team will lose in the playoffs. For clarification
for anybody who's watching and listening to what Q is saying right now, at the beginning of the season, when we start this show off, we all give our prospective teams for Super Bowl appearances.
Yes.
Who did I say?
You said Dallas and the Chiefs. Mm-hmm.
Who's still in contention?
Even my team could possibly be back in contention, but statistically, like 3 weeks ago when we revisited this issue, I'm not putting my money there no more. The Chiefs or the Green Bay Packers. And both, statistically, both are still have an opportunity to do it. The Chiefs are the number 1 seed in the AFC right now. And that could all change tonight. By the way, go Bengals.
I know that was hard.
Good luck.
Where's that drink I asked for? So of course, Chiefs Kingdom are definitely Bengals fans tonight because we need the Bengals to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills have to lose one of these last 2 games, and next week, short week for them, they play the Patriots, and they have a better opportunity.
Have to win to get in.
Yeah. So, but they.
Oh, I mean, they are the number 7 seed, but if they lose,
the Bills have a better chance of getting beat by the Bengals than they do the Patriots. So, if we have a great opportunity keeping that number 1 seed and getting that bye week in the playoffs that we desperately need, it needs to happen tonight. But we'll talk about that and all the playoff scenarios because there are a lot of teams that somehow snuck their way back into playoff contention with these losing records or these 500 records, and it's just going to be one of those weird post seasons. We'll talk about the Chiefs, the flexed game this Saturday at noon against the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas, and of course more on Monday Night Football, the Rose Bowl, and everything football as we get ready for the last week of regular season play in the NFL this season. We are live for Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, and if you like myself and nephew Steve Walter did not get black eyed peas for your New Year's celebration dinner, they do have some on menu tonight. We did find that out. You can get greens and black eyed peas here and watch Monday Night Football with us as we cheer on the Cincinnati Bengals. So we've got all that going on.
State of affairs.
Man, we got a special guest going to come and join us, and lots more as we do it again live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House, the historic 18th Vine Jazz District. You have got it tuned in to the Red Hour. Back in moments. And we are back live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House, the historic 18th Vine Jazz District. Again, we're inviting you down to come and watch Monday Night Football tonight. Tonight, even though we're not playing, it is important to us because we need this win for the Bengals if we want to keep that number 1 seed. And I told you that we've got greens and black-eyed peas and chicken and cornbread.
Is that mine or yours?
That can be yours.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that is
But definitely,
if you don't get to it quick.
So if you did not get to partake for your New Year's celebration, you can definitely come down and enjoy this fabulous meal while we watch Monday Night Football and cheer on the Bengals. Joining us, we have RDH in the building.
Don't give my government.
David Hughes, former NFL wide receiver and now voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, is back joining us. What's up, bro? Happy New Year.
What's happening? Happy New Year.
New
Happy
Year.
holidays. Hope y'all had a safe and blessed one.
Hey, we
Good to be with y'all again.
Indeed.
We here.
We like the Chiefs. We barely made it. We are here. We are back. So let me ask you, from watching these last few weeks, and maybe I'll even get most of the season, this team has been barely doing enough just to beat whatever opponent they play. And we're winning, but what do you think that is, that they're not blowing out teams this year and we're doing just enough?
So I want to pose, before I pose a bunch of questions to y'all, I want to recap a couple of things.
That's an actual graphic from one of the local news stations.
That it said doing just enough.
Doing just enough.
So
A win is a win.
That it is.
One, since you used the word blowout, in the NFL, well, normally, not the occasional, Rams versus Broncos last week or what have you.
Yeah.
What is a blowout to you, point spread wise?
Skunks 21-0.
21.
Yep.
Okay.
I was going to say at least
21
2 to 3
points.
scores.
2 to 3 scores.
Yeah.
All right. So, having said that, when you play what would be a blowout to a top 10 defense?
2 scores.
2 scores. So we're getting a little bit better.
All right.
What would be a blowout to a top 10 defense that has been beaten in the NFL 14 straight times in your division? So, before you answer that, where I'm going is, because we could do this all night.
We can do this by just one game alone. Let's talk about the worst team in the NFL in the Houston Oilers. Or the Houston Texans, or whatever they are. I'm dating myself. There's no way we should have barely beat and gone into overtime with that team.
I agree to a certain part of that. But I think when we talk about what's the expectations, we should also talk about the counter, because we're also talking about a bunch of other grown men that have families and mortgages and bills and everything else that have to fight for their jobs, coaches getting fired and what have you. And if you look at the entire schedule of the Houston Texans, their playoffs was the week before us playing the Cowboys, and their Super Bowl was us. So knowing that going into the game, you had to know, or at least feel like it was going to be a close game. I'm not saying it should have been overtime. We definitely contributed to that. But we have to take the bigger picture in who we're playing, when we're playing, the circumstances. 14 straight times you beat the same team, your hated rival, in your division. Like, that itself tells you it's going to be a one-possession game, like, to me. And if I would lived in Kansas and I was betting, I would have never bet. Like, I would have bet against the spread in all of these games. Like, it rarely happens that, like, what we beat the Rams 26-10 and
ran for the backdoor cover. Yep.
But other than that, what have we had? Maybe one or two other two-possession.
But we let Sierra's husband come in here.
What did he do against us before he got knocked out last time?
Right.
He, again, for whatever reason, he's Sierra's husband until he plays the Chiefs.
I get it. I get it. I guess I just see with this team, I see that we're a very good team playing good football. But we've become accustomed as fans to seeing a great.
Do you think that this is going to be detrimental to us as the postseason approaches? Do you think that we'll get through the postseason with this kind of play?
So I'll ask you this question.
All right.
We're going to let y'all go. We just going to sit
I'll ask you, Darren. I'll ask you, Steve, all y'all. If we were blowing out teams and we lose a close playoff game, would it matter?
No, loss is a loss.
So I'm saying, so having close games now and then getting into the playoffs, you're asking me a question about if it's going to hurt us. I would say, would it matter if we were blowing all these teams out?
I think so, because you struggle to win against the Houston Texans. So when it comes down to you having to play, what are these teams that are Ravens or you know what I'm saying?
Bills,
Bills,
Cincinnati. The biggest concern that
Colts
that I've
Colts.
You got one. There's a knife in here.
The biggest concern that I have is the fact that the team leaves points on the board. Off the board. Of course, we're talking about the special teams when it comes to Harrison Butker missing the extra points and the field goals. And to me, when you do stuff like that, stuff that used to be a regular automatic, now you don't know, and it seems like the first time he misses, it brings the energy down, not only on the sidelines but in the stadium, because now you instead of you being up 3 or up 7 or up 1 when they lost the extra point yesterday, it becomes a situation where now you're wondering how's it going to play a factor later on into the ball game.
Yeah, so you never want to talk about special teams or officials. Like, to me, the cleanest, most fun game to watch is when you don't have to talk about either one of them.
I agree.
And unfortunately, we've had to talk about special teams way too much. I was a special teams guy. I was a knucklehead on the special teams unit. So I take it personal when I see the automatics not be automatic. And that can definitely – I lived through the 96 playoff against the Colts. Now that you brought up the Colts. And I still wake up in a cold sweat every once in a while around this time of the year because of that loss and Lynn Elliott. Yeah. But, I feel like we are a really good team that has shown, you can look at it on one side and then look at it on the other side and say, we've shown the ability to overcome that stuff when there's so many teams that can't. There's so many teams like the Broncos. You look at their schedule, how many games they've lost within one possession, one score, or what have you. I played on one of the greater teams in Kansas City Chiefs history before this stretch with Patrick Mahomes, where we literally could have been 8-8, and we wind up being 13-3.
Yeah.
Because of one-score games and figuring out how to win versus teams like the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos, and others that always have that knack to lose. So I know our focus, because we have that heightened expectation of greatness, but we just have a good team that's playing good. We have a really good team playing good football, good enough to win, with the capabilities of still being great. And every other team that is in the playoffs have played their great football.
True, but the on the flip side is that, again, when we leave points on the board, you can't afford, or the team can't afford to leave points on the board when you're playing a Cincinnati, when you're playing a Buffalo Bills. I mean, even the game that they lost 24-20 against Buffalo, they missed a field goal in that game. Now, depending on how that goes and the game plays out, maybe they don't lose that game. But against the Bills or against Cincinnati, if we play them if we face them in the playoffs, you're going to need every point, every possession, and stuff like that.
How many playoff teams have we played this year? As of now, from the 14? What would it be?
5?
14 teams that we've played. 14
From
playoff
year,
slots.
From
Is it
this
14
year?
or 15?
That are in the playoffs this year or last year?
Of who's in the playoffs as of today, before this Bills-Bengals game, how many playoff teams have we beaten?
8.
So we've beaten 8, right? They've been relatively tight games. And we've lost 2. 2. So we're making something bigger because we beat those 8 teams with quality play. And those factors that you're talking about not being a factor. But because we lost 2-2.
Well, it was a factor in those games too, but they pulled them out.
But we won.
Yeah, but they won.
But you're saying we can't. I'm saying, well, we can again, 8 times.
Okay, but here's the thing. One of the 2 teams that they lost to, they lost 3 times in the same calendar year. So Patrick Mahomes is winless against one of those 2 teams that they lost to, including
and
the
special
playoffs.
teams only came into play never in that team.
Go Bengals.
In the Bengals game, it never came into play. So I understand there's a concern, and I'm not trying to knock the concern, because anytime offense, defense, special teams, you got 3 phases: kicking, punting, coverage,
turnovers are a concern as well. I mean, that was just the biggest one.
My thing too.
Yeah, I've talked about it for several weeks about the turnovers. This is an anomaly. This is a very unique season where you have a team going into this last game, tied for 27th in the NFL, but yet being considered one of the top teams in the NFL and vying for a number 1 seed in the AFC. With the mind, I grew up in the league with Marty, where giveaway, takeaway automatically equated to wins, and it's not for this team.
Yeah,
so that's a concern. I get that, and the special teams is a concern, but I feel like we're making a bigger picture of the what ifs, when the what ifs hasn't really factored into the games we've played against playoff teams.
And Lamar Wallace on our chat has said Andy's been known not to show the full playbook. Why waste time on Denver and the Texans when they can be used on?
But
on
Andy's
field?
also said that he doesn't run the same plays twice, so they're not going to see him again anyway.
He does, but there's just different variations of the same play.
That makes it different.
Yeah, I know.
Not the same. So
But it's still the same play.
not if it's different.
Not if you throw the ball to a different person.
So if you could draw up, if you were an offensive coordinator, head coach, and you can draw up a game plan to just win a game, would you do it?
To just win a game, yeah.
Just win a game.
Yep.
And then win the next one.
Yep.
No, but
Like,
let me
would you do it?
Hold on, but
That's what I'm there
But
for.
in
To
the
win the
NFL,
game.
that would include in-game adjustments, correct?
Well, you drew up a game plan, you made halftime adjustments, quarterly adjustments, what have you, and you wind up just winning the game. Would you do that for an entire season?
Yeah, I mean, if it got me 17-0, yeah.
You get fired halfway through the season for sports.
So I don't even think like yesterday they didn't need to make any adjustments. I mean, you
Pick
are
the Broncos. You stop it.
I did.
Well, they had
You're
to
right, I
make
did.
some adjustments. One,
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed goes down, so we have a situation where
Wasn't
we
that the
got
second half, though?
Huh?
Wasn't that the second half?
It
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
But we got three. We already have three of our top four corners rookies.
Right.
L'Jarius Sneed goes down. Not only are our only three corners on the field rookies, but now we move Trent McDuffie inside, who's never played inside. So now you got a rookie out of place because of an injury.
Right.
You have Brian Cook that has to come in and play more at the safety spot. So I feel like just winning the game yesterday is fine given the entire package, because how it's going, we like to focus on how it could hurt us, but we don't ever look at how it can help us.
So this is a good time to
rookies
bring
and
up
all that.
the MVP situation.
Okay.
So
I don't want anybody to say that the MVP played in Kansas City yesterday.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Are you talking about
Where did the
yesterday, or is
MVP
it
play?
just is this the whole season or just yesterday?
If the MVP didn't play in Kansas City yesterday, where did he play at?
He was hurt.
Q is trolling himself right about now.
Oh,
No, I'm not even gonna let us rock. I've understood
You
what
trying
Q
to say
wants
Jalen
do.
Hurts?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's an argument, but
It was an argument 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
because now he's saying that he's hurt. There's no argument, but he's saying that.
No, we knew the injury. Like we talked about this 3 weeks ago. The injury, yes.
But he's
affects.
still saying that the way that Patrick is playing should still take him out of.
That doesn't make him the MVP. That's what I'm saying.
Patrick Mahomes' worst game is Jalen Hurts' best game.
Which game is that?
Pick
Any one of them. Pick one.
Pick one.
Pick one.
Just blindly point.
Pick one.
Which game is that?
You can take yesterday's game. Any game Jalen Hurts had this season, yesterday is Patrick's worst game.
Well, the first Denver game
Oh, the
was
first
his
Denver
actual
game.
worst.
Yeah, three
He still threw
statistically,
three
yeah.
scores
But he still did some crazy things.
and threw for over 300 plus yards.
I mean,
on a
But according to
top
Q, style
four
points
defense.
don't matter.
No, I give you that. But
he'll
we
switch
were
up the argument.
no, because you guys keep always leaning on, yes, he threw more yards. Yes, on a team that doesn't run the ball. But Jalen did both.
All right,
We're
so
just
let me
telling
ask
you
you this.
how
Effectively.
Let me ask you this.
But there was 10
You
other people
are
that threw
you
more
are a
yards than he
voter.
did.
Who is your MVP pick right now?
Credibly now.
Credibly.
I mean, yes, for me, it would be Jalen.
Right now, still?
He would have that vote taken.
No, it wouldn't be Patrick.
Why?
I don't-
Not after that Colts game. Like not
Week
not
three?
after
Seriously,
not-
bro? Week
not-
3?
So not even Josh or
Week
Cool Joe.
3.
Not
You
e-
still
not
going?
and Josh see, in the way I look at the MVP picture is the full season. Like
Okay.
all of the emphasis now is put on the end of season.
No.
Like
He ain't
just-
played the last 2
and
weeks.
this
What
is-
are you talking about?
That's fine.
Q and I
He's
had a
saying-
conversation. Q and I had a conversation early on in the season. Oh, and we both agreed it's going to take. He has 3 new receivers. It's going to take a lot of time for them to all get on the same page, right or wrong.
Okay.
So
No,
if
right
we're
or-
talking about a whole season, are these receivers still are they on the same page as Patrick Mahomes right now?
Most of them, I would say.
How long did it take?
I'd say around week 8 or 9.
Week 8 or 9. Okay, because I mean, now he's like, oh, well, we're talking about just now. We're talking about the whole season. Q.
And that's what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
and I'm talking about the post.
And you heard me. My whole thing has been because people's votes have been wavering week to week, depending on.
Yeah.
So
hold on. No, first of all, man, if you're gonna say something, put it in some context, Sean. Okay, put it in context because you ain't gonna try to put me on blade like we do Q. Because what I said,
No, he didn't lie.
Okay,
Your vote has switched twice.
OJ Simpson, hold on.
Let me say. Let me say.
You just asked me to put it in context.
Yes, please.
So
do.
OJ Simpson.
Yes.
Let me ask you directly.
Yes.
Has your vote for MVP changed throughout the course of the season?
It's wavered. Yes.
Yes or no, OJ? I just need a yes or no. Has your MVP vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
Because that's what he said.
And why is that, Sean? Because when the facts change, your stuff's supposed to change. Am I correct or not? Am I correct or not?
Not if we're going
when the information.
Not if we're looking at the entire season.
Hold on.
Patrick Mahomes has thrown for over 5,000 yards.
Patrick Mahomes led most of the season, Sean. When he lost to Cincinnati, didn't have the 3-interception game against Denver the very next game. Even Vegas had him going from first to second behind Jalen Hurts. Then Jalen Hurts got hurt, and then he moved back up. Is that correct? Yes or no?
I need you to take some of that bass out your voice.
Stop talking to me with your hands. No. I need you.
Relax
I need you to
your
answer
shoulders.
yes or no.
I need you to breathe a little
Yes
bit.
or no?
I don't even know what you said because
Pay
my
attention.
point is
pay attention.
I
Because
stopped
what I
paying
said
attention
was
because the point
what I said was well, he led most of the season. Did he not? Yes or no?
Sure he did.
Okay, so after the loss of Cincinnati, and then the very next week he had 3 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions. Did he not drop? Did he not drop behind Jalen Hurts? Even Vegas said he dropped behind Jalen.
I'm not going by what Vegas said.
No, but yes or no? Yes or no? Did he not drop?
I don't know because I don't watch Vegas odds.
Okay, well, as soon as Jalen got hurt, they moved him back into the front of the MVP race.
So here's what I'm saying to you. It has never changed in my mind because what Patrick has done on the field has not changed. He has led in yardage. He has led in touchdowns.
QBR.
He has led in QBR. The
Said that
things that
yesterday.
you're looking for an MVP as a quarterback, if that's what you're looking at. He has led Josh Allen. He has led Joe Burrow. He has led Jalen Hurts in all those categories the entire season. That has never dropped. I don't care what Vegas has said. I'm looking as a whole.
None of them lost their number one target.
Exactly. I'm looking as a whole for the entire 17-week football season. I'm not going this 18-week. I'm not going, all right, he lost this week. He did.
Hold on. Number one. Is Travis not the number one target?
Was Travis the number one target the last 5 years?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
That's what I say. He lost the number one target. He wasn't the number one target.
Travis is number one receiver.
He is.
That's what I'm saying. He's been the number one receiver in my eyes since the last 4 years.
So how so?
No. He wasn't. Not when Tyreek was here.
Not in targets? Okay. You tell me. I don't know.
Not when Tyreek was here. No.
Okay. I'll give you that.
So
because I don't know.
Hey, Mario, we just said Tyreek's name 3 times. Where are those drinks?
I think
at this point, pour something.
I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are a product of too quick of a success.
Yeah, I give you that. Yeah.
That doesn't give them credibility in regards to MVP and Coach of the Year conversations like it should. Because if you look at the Aaron Rodgers, the Brett Favres, the Peyton Mannings, they had, if you look at each of their ascensions, they had a base of bad that allowed people to vote and say, oh, he's gotten so much better that now, oh, he deserves an MVP. He deserves a Coach of the Year because he went 2-14 and now he's whatever. And Andy Reid, because of what he's done here, like the fact, I understand. Hey,
I don't even think Andy's won Coach of the Year since he's had Patrick, has he?
Well, Dable and other coaches, I can understand them being in the conversation. But Andy's not even talked about as a Coach of the Year because he's always stayed great with us. And so to me, it's like, what's harder? Being a new coach to a semi-bad team like the Giants and getting a healthy Saquon and a healthy Daniel Jones and elevating that to playoffs in a bad NFC, or keeping a really good team great.
I mean, I think you could have.
And the same thing with Patrick. Like we have no baseline. You couldn't tell me what Patrick's worst year is. Most people don't even realize it. And then, so all of
I would say
Nah,
2020.
it's 2020. I
No,
think it was.
no. 'Cause
See, that's my point.
Because 2020 he was in the lead to win the MVP, but the last two games he didn't play against the Chargers when they were running it back, and then the week before he had a semi-average game against the Atlanta Falcons, and then that's when Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns those last 2 weeks to supplant him.
Or some people might say when he got hurt.
That was
The year.
2019.
Yeah. So, I mean, my point is we can't even agree on his worst year. While Peyton Manning, we all would say it first year, rookie, most ever interceptions ever. So he always had the ascension that it wasn't as bad as that rookie year, so he must be great.
Well, the
And
problem,
Patrick, we don't have that. So,
well, the problem with Patrick was his first year at the start of MVP. He said the bar for himself that's what he's judged against.
but that's my point is
Yeah.
that because he set that bar so high and he stayed within
No, I give you that. Yeah.
ticker level
And
of
even
that.
if you take that away, the Kansas City Chiefs have been statistically the most consistent team in the NFL for the last 6 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's astonishing now that you bring that up, that Andy Reid has never been in that conversation.
They
And
talk
here we
about
are still
everybody
talking
else.
about Eric Bieniemy, who still doesn't have a head coaching job.
And we're also talking about other people that could be MVPs.
And my point too, and it's always been the same, is Patrick Mahomes does things that, one, some of it we've never seen.
Mhm.
The other,
What has he done that we not
wait. Hold on,
seen?
let me finish, Q. And the other is Jalen Hurts can't do a lot of those things that Patrick Mahomes does.
So what has he done that we haven't seen? Please tell me.
Can Jalen Hurts throw for 5,000 yards?
I don't know. This is his first. This is his first year as a starter.
It doesn't matter.
What?
We're judging him first year as a starter or not. We're still
he's
judging him in
second
the MVP conversation.
But you're asking a hypothetical question to make a reality point.
How many,
I don't know.
how many weeks has Jalen Hurts missed?
2. He's missed 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, he is still
And he was
more
starting
than
last year.
2,000 yards behind Patrick Mahomes for a 5,000-yard season in 2 weeks.
Okay, so
with
they run
added-
the ball more.
He wasn't going to throw.
with an added weapon in AJ Brown.
With an added, take AJ Brown away from Jalen Hurts.
Hold on.
Would he?
You just added 2 veterans at receiver to the Chiefs.
Come on now.
Hold on.
Like, I mean,
Hold on.
Hold on.
Don't
Wait
you
a
say
minute.
that,
Hold
though.
on. No.
You
Hold
don't
on.
say that because
Hold on, because
We've been on that
Hold
topic.
on.
we're not gonna get you in trouble.
hold on, because you had
Hold that thought.
you
It
have
is time
one
to
guy
take a
that's in the
break.
Pro Bowl.
It
Like
is
what?
time to take a break. We will be back in just a little bit. We are live.
I
from
can't woosah into
Soiree's-
these earphones.
We are live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. Come get your black eyed peas and greens. Come watch Monday Night Football. Go Bengals. As we wait for this, and we'll talk about what's happening if the postseason started today. And of course, we'll talk about this flex game on Saturday and the possibility of what the Chiefs can or cannot do or might be able to do as we progress through the postseason. So it's all going down. And again, everybody who's watching us online, we appreciate you. If you are in the Kansas City area, please come down and watch because I'm going to need somebody to watch me when I'm watching this game. Just keep an eye on me. We're live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House. We'll be back in a moment. It's the Red Hour. And Mario's blocking the camera. We're back. We're here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House. It is the red hour as we're talking Chiefs football. Mario finally came through. Turn up. Okay, so tonight, Monday Night Football, the Bengals will be taking on the Buffalo Bills, who are now the number 2 seed in the AFC. And if we look at the playoff picture today, your number 1 seed, of course, with the first round bye would be Kansas City Chiefs. We have the Bills at number 2, Bengals 3, Jags 4, Chargers 5, Ravens 6, the Patriots with that 7 seed.
Does that surprise you about the Jags instead of Tennessee?
Not really. Not really.
That game comes down Saturday after.
Absolutely. So these weekend games are going to be a big part of what happens and who makes. Man, the NFC has been absolutely crazy. The Eagles with the number 1 seed, 49ers 2, Vikings in the 3rd seed, Buccaneers. Can you believe that? Yes. With a 500 record are the 4th seed in the NFC. Cowboys number 5, Giants 6, Seahawks. Again, another 8-8 team at 500, 7th seed. So there's 2 teams in the AFC, 8-8, and the rest of them have a winning record. We have almost the same situation in NFC, except we've got a New York Giants team who went on a surge late in the season and are barely above 500. Danon, have you seen a situation where it has been so weird as far as these teams go getting toward the playoffs with, like, we almost had a losing team seeded?
Yeah, well, we saw that a few years ago with the Rams. I believe they were 7-9 and made the playoffs. I think also the NFC East, when we called them the NFC least, had Dallas go into the playoffs with a losing record, I believe. It kind of brings me back to the late 80s, early 90s when the dominance in the West, NFC West with the Niners. Yeah. There was there were teams that were just making the wild card game at 9-7 or 8-8. So it's not, uncharted territory. I guess for us as in the Chiefs, with all of that going on and all the turmoil with other teams and the money that they've paid for guys and not gotten a return, like, we should be in the Chiefs kingdom really, really happy with the product that we're putting on the field. And I know there's going to be questions because, we're better than other teams and we're playing close games and all that. But we've also been down the Todd Haley road. Like, we remember Todd Haley and Romeo Crennel. Yeah. And
thankfully, these drinks are at the table now.
So there's that fine line, Sean, where you gotta realize, we're still in a special place. Like, we're not, 10-6, just making the playoffs and secure the playoffs because of other bad teams.
And we have a team that when we're down, we're not so worried about losing the game because we're down by double digits, because we have a team that has used that as their springboard.
When you watch, and like, I get a chance from the booth, and I know all the fans do, but a lot of times fans, and it's not a negative towards fans watch the ball. Like, I see the game, the entire package. So I'm watching body language, sideline actions, communication, all this stuff that I'm doing while I'm sitting in the booth next to Mitch Holthus. And we have scored or put ourselves in a position to score with 13 seconds left. We put our position placed in a position to score with 12 seconds left. Yesterday, we got 11 seconds and we got a field goal attempt that got blocked. Like, there's no situation that is too big for us. And when you watch the guys' body languages and the movements and the communication, there's no throwing helmets at each other. There's no separation of coaches separating players and this and that. And we should be happy about that because, like you said, we figure out ways to win and be successful in the tightest situation. And for a fan's perspective, because I feel like I'm still a fan, like, that's the cool part that I watch. It's like, okay, the odds are against us now. But there's 13 seconds, there's 12 seconds, there's 11 seconds. Like, we still have that. So we should relish in that as opposed to the Grey's Anatomy the dissecting of every little thing about this team and using the scalpel to kind of break them down.
And we
when
have a
we're
spoiled,
winning.
toxic fan base.
I was just going to say that.
We do have a spoiled, toxic fan base right now. So even if you can or won't say it, it's a thing now.
We're
Especially,
spoiled. Yeah.
especially since we've got Patrick Mahomes and we've seen what the Wonder Kid has been able to do in a myriad of situations.
And he spoiled the media too. He spoiled the national media.
Yeah.
Because they have started. It started from before the season on who was going to take over. He was already behind the 8 ball. Normally you would say LeBron is great. LeBron has been great. Year 10, year 11, year 12. LeBron. Maybe KD, but LeBron. It's like as soon as we started the year, it was like Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. It was like everybody else. Like what did he do during the offseason? Did he stub his toe or something? Like what did he do in the offseason that he's not the greatest, even though he was the greatest the year before?
And we know that a lot of people in the media just hate Patrick Mahomes for no reason at all.
Well, he's making a lot of people realize.
I'm just saying.
He's making a lot of people. He's making a lot of people realize, like, hey, he doesn't need a star wide receiver in order to be good. Like he's still able to make people better, and I think that's what makes guys great. Is if you can make the next man better that's on your team, then that's what makes you great.
So looking at the playoff picture as it stands right now, and with this game tonight, that could possibly keep us in that number one.
I don't want to go to Buffalo.
I do. Y'all got the MVP, so you should be able to go anywhere.
There's no place that I would rather not go to. Like I try to think of like the Ukraine, like during this time. I don't want to go to Buffalo. Like they might have to be pushing me up the steps on the team plane, and I'll be kicking and screaming. I don't want to go to Buffalo. I've been there in January for the playoffs, and it didn't bode well. And I remember coming out of that locker room in 1993 when we were playing the AFC Championship. And I remember walking out, me, Willie Davis, J.J. Burden, all of us, and we stopped at the door like it was the Jamaican bobsled team, whatever they did in that movie, Cool Runnings. Yeah. And we was like, this is a different cold. Like it was a different, like I grew up in Jersey and played in Iowa. So I know cold. It was a different cold that guy. I was like, oh my gosh, we already down 14-0. They ain't even kicked the ball off yet. We already down 14-0 with this cold. So I don't want to go. Don't make me go.
So my question was, which team, not weather condition, worries you most as the postseason approaches?
I feel like Buffalo, like from a player's perspective, they're bound to get that number. They don't have our number, but they're bound to get that number. Yes, and that's why I feel like it's more comfortable to play the Cincinnati Bengals because of the same reason. Right. We're bound to get that number.
And it's funny because I'm thinking the same thing because we've destroyed the Denver Broncos for so long, but we don't feel that same way. I
don't know,
these
y'all.
two teams?
I wouldn't want to play the Chargers in the playoffs.
Chargers, yeah.
I just would not want to play.
They're fully healthy now.
Yes, they are. I just would not want to play the LA Chargers.
And I've said it once and I'll say it again. We can't claim to be the best if we don't play the best.
True. Who's the best?
At the moment.
Who's your best? AFC.
Cincinnati.
Whether they win or lose tonight, they still the best?
Well, I'm talking about as it relates to facing the Chiefs.
Oh, gotcha.
So
yeah. It's between the Bills and the Bengals. But
I would say Cincinnati too. I just think that.
Do you have an opinion, or you just?
I would say that Jamar Chase, Justin Herbert deal. That's Tyreek and Pat 2.0.
No, just for some reason become a matchup issue with Kansas City.
I think both teams are better than the Chiefs, and I think both teams are better than the Chiefs on the defensive side of the ball.
So you would pick the Chiefs as the number 3 team in it, or you think the Ravens are better, or somebody else?
No. I put them beneath those two. Okay. I don't know if I'm putting Buffalo over Cincinnati, but I mean, from the course of the season, I would put Buffalo one, and then Cincinnati 2.
And I found it weird that the Chiefs are like in the power rankings number 6.
Yeah,
which is absolutely asinine.
Just because of those close wins.
Hold on, but why would you say it's asinine when they can't even like shut down the Denver Broncos, like the worst team in the division?
But they won.
But you should be able to shut them
I
down.
get it.
Remember,
Trust me, I totally understand the argument.
it's the Russell Wilson of the past, and he's
But
still.
what has the other teams? What has 1 and 2 done in recent weeks to say that they are significantly better?
Well, and I'm not even saying.
significant. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not
they
saying
both
that.
beat Kansas City.
Yes.
And now the thing is, well, we know last year Buffalo came in and they mollywopped Kansas City in the regular season. Kansas City got them in the postseason. But I mean, hey, that's what they did. It's like you was Sunday Night Football. But
No, I just-
but we saw what Cincinnati did, and Chiefs played them 3 weeks later. They were up 21-3, 21-10, and only scored 3 points in the second half in the AFC Championship game. So
I think both of those teams have far more attitude than the Chiefs, whether it's on offense or defense.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, with
Okay.
that being said, in a few moments in Cincinnati, the Buffalo Bills will take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And the entire Chiefs Kingdom tonight is rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Which is sad.
and shout out to the Chiefs players. They got a watch party tonight.
So in the
to watch
last
the
9 games, the Buffalo Bills have beaten teams by more than 1 score only 3 times. Right?
Okay.
Only 3 times.
Mhm.
So when we going back to our earlier comments about the Chiefs,
Blowing
if
things
we're
out.
saying that the Bills are where they are, like they played 9 straight games where they've won within 1 score.
Mhm.
So we're criticizing a team, and the Bills have played some bad teams during that stretch, and yet they've won by 1 score. So, like, if we're going to keep it even or real, I haven't looked at the Cincinnati Bengals, but I have to believe that they're probably in the same boat. They beat the Patriots last week, got lucky against the Patriots with that fumble in the red zone.
Yeah.
They had 1, 2, 3,
I think the Bengals
4,
had more
5.
blowouts than
5 over the last 9 games that they've won by more than 1 score.
Mhm.
So if you're going to make the argument about one of those teams and you're going to compare apples to apples,
I think my point stands on the attitude of the team. I don't think the Chiefs have that attitude that helps them in the end of the game, whether it's on defense or whatever, because offense is going to do what they do. We know Patrick is going to do. Him and Travis are going to figure it out somehow. I think on defense, this team doesn't have the attitude that they had
do.
in the past.
I think they do.
I did have the attitude.
You don't see it on camera. You don't see, and I know where you're going with this. You talking about the Tyron and
it's not even. Yes, Tyron added attitude. Yes, Tyron added like a different type of energy to the defense. Yes, he added that
initially.
Not last year.
but I think this year this team doesn't show any of that attitude. Which partly, what I'll give you is that partly is because Chris Jones has shut up, Frank Clark has shut up. Like they're not giving you sound bites each week, but then it turned into Reed giving that one sound bite when whatever he did.
But I think they're young. I
give you that.
I think they're
Yes.
young. I think they're doing it with the play on the field and a guy like Nick Bowden and Willie Gay.
Yeah.
They're doing it in different ways. And if you remember, and I can't remember if it's this year where you see the guys dancing on the sideline just after they're beating their opponent, and it's like, man, y'all are really doing that while you still playing the game. I think that's the different attitude that they show instead of being
It's
the
probably
mean guys on the team.
it's
on the
probably
field.
more loose, but I haven't seen this defense yet that I feel like they can make the stop when it needs to happen.
This defense has been more consistent this year versus telling Steve, I say, compared to the previous years where the defense was always, where the defense so like last year when they were 3-4, the defense kind of picked the team up and started playing well. And then the year they won the Super Bowl after Tennessee, they won the 9 straight games. I think this year they've been consistent from week 1 all the way up until now. The losses,
I don't think they were consistent in Indianapolis.
Well,
That's just one game.
That was actually no. Q, you're right, because that's what I was going to say. Outside of, I think, Indianapolis, but even then, it wasn't like they got blown out. But the turnovers, one, you can't turn the ball over inside the 5-yard line, and then they go for.
And it was early in the season, and teams have bad games.
Yeah.
Like You can't name a team
I'm
this
not
season.
disputing that.
Okay, because you keep going to that one game. It's like that just wasn't their bad
and
game.
I told y'all here
But I think the
that
defense
Monday
has been good all year long, all things being equal, if you look at it in its totality, because even the 3 interception game, it wasn't on the defense that they, the quarterback put them in a bad situation, but the defense has been pretty good.
But that
all
Colts
year.
game is the game that worries me if we're playing so close to these teams like this.
Yes,
that could
because
easily
that Colts team, and I said it the show after that game, whatever day that game was on, the show after that game, I said coming in that the Colts, especially on defense, had far more attitude than the Chiefs did on defense.
And I've been saying this too. I haven't seen, whether it's been NBA, NFL, whatever, a professional team that's been able to click it on like a light switch. And this Chiefs team has been able to do that.
They do that
consistently.
All right. So with that being said, one more regular season game happening this Saturday afternoon in Las Vegas. You have the Chiefs taking on a hated rival. Darren, what do you see happening this Saturday?
Chiefs win. They win by less than 7 points. They do not cover the spread.
What's the spread? 12 or
9, I think.
9?
Our starters playing this week?
Of
course.
They got
Yeah.
to. They got to. They got to.
Yeah.
Especially if Cincinnati does
9.5 is the spread.
9.5?
Yeah.
Dated?
I definitely believe they'll win. I feel like we'll win by. I'll actually go over. I'll say we'll win by 10. I'll win by 10.
We'll make our bet off the air.
I got it as just a touchdown. Chiefs winning a touchdown. I think they're going to get a good Devontae Adams again
and the way
this
the Raiders
week.
played last week yesterday against San Francisco, and how they played the Chiefs at
it's
Arrowhead.
I think it's gonna be seven or less, but they're gonna win. I think you're still gonna get an upset Devontae Adams again.
I remember, man, the Chiefs played down their competition. That's why I can't see.
Yeah, it's gonna be 7 or less, but that's why they play the game.
All right, Q.
Oh, game started.
I don't know, because the defense, like Spags does well against young quarterbacks. I would like to see this kid have this performance he had yesterday.
Because he played amazingly yesterday.
365. Now, I mean, the 2 interceptions, I expect that from a young kid. But I think the Chiefs win it. I think they win like at the end by like luck or something. But it'll probably look like yesterday's game. It'll be in the 24-27 range.
All right, who do you see winning tonight?
Buffalo.
Ooh, I got Bengals win. I got money on this game.
Bengals.
So.
I got the Bengals too. I think Buffalo is going to try to get physical with Bengals, but this is going to be too much.
Tried to come out first play at blitz.
First play
almost got torched.
Yeah,
and they got a holding call.
Yeah, go Bengals.
Yeah, go Bengals. Wow. So, wow, Monday Night Football is underway. We are here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing.
Sean doesn't pick.
I usually don't pick.
I get a right to every week, though. Don't be a Steve.
I'm not going to be a Steve, but remember that Buffalo game when I picked the Buffalo Bills to win by 3. They won by 4. That's where I am with this Raiders team Saturday.
I think this young kid gets off.
So if Cincinnati wins, Chiefs win have the number 1 seed. You think that they would lose Saturday and lose the number 1 seed?
Oh, because they have the power to oh my God, we got the number 1 seed. Let's stay there.
Yeah.
If they had that power, we wouldn't even be in this situation waiting for the Bengals to win.
Do you think they're gonna lose?
I think that the Raiders team, the way they're playing right now with this young quarterback with a lot, the way he played yesterday, if he plays like that on Saturday afternoon against this Kansas City Chiefs squad, we're losing that game.
And then Josh Jacobs today was talking about how the energy in the locker room was better this week. So I'm like,
look at that block.
Even
Super Bowl.
I mean, but even with Derek Carr gone, I mean, you play a motivated team.
And
so
I don't want them to lose, and I definitely want Buffalo to lose tonight.
But they just lost a player.
Did they look under the bed? But I see the Chiefs, if the Raiders play like they played with this young quarterback who played his very first NFL snap yesterday.
He's played before, hasn't he?
No, he has not.
That was his first start.
That was his first start.
Not first start, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
His first start.
He's in New England.
We're losing that game by at least 6.
Oh.
So there's that. I'm going to finish this.
I was like Tourette sometimes.
I'm going to finish this lovely Manhattan that Mario made and have me some black-eyed peas and greens from my sister, Chef Anita. And once again, thank you all for the support that you showed for Chef and her staff here. We weren't here last week because there was a burst pipe that flooded the restaurant, and we didn't know when we'd be back in here. Luckily, it was within a week. There was an amazing contractor just happened to be here when the pipe burst, and he jumped right into action and got the restaurant open. And Thursday night, we were in here all day redoing stuff. So shout out to the staff and everybody that helped and all the prayers and everything that got Chef back open.
Amen.
Thank you for that. Shout out to my cousin, Kai Abshire, who went the fourth pick in the first round in the XFL draft. He'll be playing for the Seattle Sea Dragons. So shout out to Kai, and let's go Bengals.
Good luck.
We'll be back one more regular season week right here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House. So following the Saturday performance, we'll be here on Monday talking about the game. And I would love to talk about a Chiefs victory.
Hopefully.
We'll make it happen. So in the meantime, blessings to you all. Happy New Year. Wish you health, wealth, and good cheer. And remember, make 2023 about spreading love. Whether you know somebody or not, before you go into anger, stop and think about it and do something nice. It's a lot more easy. It's a lot easier to love than it is to hate. So use that energy for good this year, people. We'll see you next week right here live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House as we do it for the Red Eye.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.